Okay, students, let us start our today's session. So in this session, I'll show you practically how Docker works, and also we'll see how to use the commands which we discussed in our previous session. See, in our last session, we discussed around 12 commands. So we'll see today practically how to use these commands. Also, we discussed about the components of Docker in our previous session and how Docker works, okay, and what is Docker. So these points will already be discussed. In today's session, we'll see practically how Docker works, how to install Docker, and use of all above commands. Right. Use of commands. Okay, so let us start with the Docker. See, in our previous class, we have seen this diagram, and I have explained this diagram. So in our today's session, I'll show you. Actually, there are two ways of creating images. Already I told you. First is we create image from Docker file, and from this image, okay, after running this image, we'll get a container. Okay, so this is one part of creating a container. Also, there is one more option we have to create a container. That is, already we have some images available on Docker Hub. As I told you, Docker Hub is a storage for images. We have all the images stored on Docker Hub. So simply, whatever images we need, we have to pull this image from the Docker Hub, and then from that image, we create a container. So in our today's session, I will show you this part. Means what? How to pull the image from the Docker Hub. Okay, and from that image, how to create a container. Then how to use this container. Okay, so this part I will show you today. In our next session, we'll see from Docker file how to create an image, and then from this image how to create a container. So this I'll tell you in our next session. So as I told you, using PuTTY, I'm accessing the Linux machine from Mumbai branch. So now here machine is started. You can see here. Now see this one. Now you are using the machine as a normal user. See, EC2 user. But see, to install some Docker on your machine. Okay, again to fetch to pull the image from the Docker Hub, to create a container, you should have the admin privilege, like admin access. Means you should be root user, then only it is possible for you to install Docker on your Linux machine. Now if you see, this is your private IP address. Already at the time of like accessing this machine, we were using public address. See, this is the public address. So I was using this public address to access the machine. So after getting access to the machine, now see, its private address is this one, 172.31.37.61. So this is my server, the Linux machine private address. Same address you can see here, 172, 31, 37, and 61. Okay, 172.31.37.61. Now I got access to this machine. Now first job is like, first I have to switch to the root user. The command we use is sudo su. So this command we use to switch from normal user to root user. Su means what? Super user. Just press enter. Now see, now you are a root user now. Now you can install any software, any tool in your Linux machine. Okay, you can create a image, you can create a container, you can pull the image from the, you see how all rights now, because you are admin now. Yeah, you are root user. See, and the IP address is same. Okay, now for my first job is now already I got this permission. Okay, to become a root user. Now next is my first job is already in my machine. I want to check whether the machine is updated. Now means all the tools are there or not. First, I want to update my Linux machine. So for updation purpose, we use a command called yum update. My first job is to update my Linux machine. So automatically it will be updated using this command yum space update then hyphen y. Press enter. See, already is updated. See, updation is completed. There's nothing to do. My machine is already updated now. Okay. So if any, so only some softwares are there, some tools are there. So if they are old tools, then automatically they're updated with the current version. So that is the meaning of this. This meaning of this command. Now next, after updating my machine, my next job is I want to install Docker in my machine. For that purpose, the command is m docker m install docker and hyphen y. I think in my last session I told you the command to install Docker is m install docker hyphen y. Just press enter. See, your Docker is installing now. Okay, now it is completed. Docker is installed. Now I want to check whether the Docker is installed or not. Okay, the command is just type which Docker. Okay, just to check whether the Docker is installed in my machine or not. Already I installed. Just press enter. Now see, here it is installed. Okay, this is the path to the Docker. If you are getting this path, means here the tool which you are trying to check, the tool name you will get here. Suppose already just now I installed Docker. That's why I'm getting this path. If I want to check another tool which is not installed, suppose Chef is there. Chef is one more tool used in DevOps. I want to check whether this Chef is already installed in my machine or not. Just press enter. See, it is not installed. No Chef in. Okay, like this, we can check the install software or install tool in our machine. Okay, so this command that is which, then the tool name, which tool you want to check. The tool name you have to write here. Next, see what we have seen is we have seen a command to update our Linux machine. The command is yum update -y. Then how to install Docker using this command yum install docker -y. Okay, please remember these commands. Okay, command to install Docker. Then after install Docker, I want to check whether the Docker is installed or not. For that command is which then Docker. Okay, so this which command we use to check the install software or install tool in our machine. Okay, now I'll clear this screen. Now, next is suppose I want to check Docker version, which Docker I install. So command is docker space -v or -version. Any one you can use -v. So my Docker version is 20.10.23. Okay. So one more command is there, same docker space -version. Okay, double hyphen versions. This also you can use. Same output I'll get. So anyone, either this command or this command, docker -v or docker -version to check the Docker version. Next. Okay, already I installed, but I have not yet started my Docker. Okay, I have to check whether my Docker is started or it is running or not. I want to check the Docker status. So for that, the command is, already I told you in my previous session how to check Docker status, whether it is running, it is started or not started, it is running or not. So command is service Docker status. Okay. This command we use to check Docker is running or not, or Docker is started or not. Just press enter. See here, I'll get this message inactive, means it is dead, it is not running now. Okay, then see, now so already we install Docker. Then to our main aim is to create a container. Docker is a tool which we use to create a container. But to create a container, first we should start our Docker. So it is not started, it is in inactive mode. See here, it is now dead now. So we have to start Docker first. The command is Docker start or service Docker start. Service Docker start. Enter. Okay, now check. Now it is started. After this command, your Docker is started. Again, I want to check whether it is started or not. Again, check status. Enter. Okay, now see here now here it is active now. It is running now. Okay, so this command we have to use to start a Docker. Which command? Service Docker start. Please remember these commands. Okay, how to start Docker using command service Docker start. How to check Docker status using this command service Docker status. Now here it is running now. Like your Docker is started. Now our job is, okay, what I told you. So this part I'll show you today. Already Docker started. So how to pull image from so there are some images already available on Docker Hub. Okay, this is my public Docker Hub. So anyone can pull the image from this Docker Hub, and from this image, I'll show you how to create a container. This part I'll show you. So for this purpose, already we started Docker. Okay, now I'll clear this screen. Okay, so Docker is started. First, I want to check the Docker information. Okay, the command is Docker info. Okay, what is the version of Docker? Then, okay, all the details regarding Docker, I'll get here. See. So, in my Docker, now it is using Linux machine. This is Amazon Linux 2023. This operating system, this machine I'm using, and this is Linux machine. Here memories, as I told you, it is around 1. This is the memory. Okay, used by the Docker, around 1 GB it is. Okay, all the details you'll get regarding your Docker. Okay, the kernel version. Okay, the security option. Right. So just to know Docker details, you use the command Docker info. Then after that, now I want to check. See, the images already available in my local machine, in my local server. So I've not pulled any image from the Docker Hub. First, we'll check is there an image available or it is present in my local machine, in my local this Linux server. So for that, the command is Docker space images, because from images only we are creating container. First, we'll check any images available in my local machine or not. So the command is Docker images. I'll clear this screen first. Use command Docker images, not image, it is images. Enter. Now see, there is no image in my local machine. So these are the some headings. If image is there, it will show the image did like what is the image name, okay, the repository from where you pull that image, then image ID, okay, at what time it was created, what is the size of that image, all the details. Now it is empty means what? There is no image in my local machine. Okay, so what I'll do, see this diagram. So I will try to, I will pull the image from the Docker hub and then I'll store that image in my local machine, means in a Docker engine, right? And from that image, then we'll create a container. So first we'll see this Docker hub. See, I'll show you. For this, go to, I have one website. Okay, I'll tell you one more thing. So what we did is we created, we checked is the image is available in our local machine or not. Now again we'll see is there a container available in my local machine. Now my machine is totally blank now. What we did is only we installed Docker in my machine, and then we checked is there image is available in my machine or not. Again we'll check is there any container, because from image only we create a container, but there is no image means of course there will not be any container. But let us see is there any container available in my local machine or not. For that, the command is docker ps, docker ps only. So this command we use, ps means process status, to check only the running containers. I want to check only running containers. See, there is no running container. Container ID, image, from image, which image the container is created, the command created. So all this, then container status, course. Now there is no running container. I want to check all the running containers as well as stop the container. Okay, the command is same, only you have to add -a. It's all containers I need. If there is no running container, there is no stopper container. Right. Now, I'll try to pull the image from the Docker Hub. So I'll show you. There is one like how web-based Docker Hub. You have to use that hub dot docker.com. So this is our Docker Hub web-based repository. Okay, so all images are available on this Docker Hub. Okay, from this Docker Hub we have to pull the image, and then from that image we can easily create a container. Suppose now for this also we have to create one account, but right now it is not required. Directly we'll see. First we'll check the image. Suppose I want Ubuntu image. Whether the Ubuntu image is available on this Docker Hub or not. Check Ubuntu image. See, here it's available now. Ubuntu. Yeah, it is there. This is the Ubuntu image. Okay, so around 1 billion user, they have downloaded. They have this image from the Docker Hub. See here, you can see 1 billion, 1 B plus means 1 billion user. They downloaded this image from the Docker Hub. Okay, and the command is to pull this image, docker pull Ubuntu. So this command we use only to fetch the image from the Docker Hub to our local machine. This will fetch the command from fetch the image from the Docker Hub and stores in our local machine. It means in our Docker engine. Right. So you have to use the same name. Okay, just copy name in my local machine. Now how to pull this one? Okay, so I'll write one command, docker run -it. See, I'm not pulling. What I'm doing is I'm pulling the image. So let us say I'll tell you. So this command for pulling the command is different. Docker pull and Ubuntu. Okay, so this will pull image from hub and store in my local machine. But I don't want this one. I want to like pull as well as immediately create a container. Pull image, then create a container and start it. All these three activities I want at a time. The command is docker run space -it. You can use -i or -t. I'll show you -it. Then the image name. Then -bin -bash. Okay. So this run is what? This will create and start your container. Okay, actually this will pull the Ubuntu, sorry, this Ubuntu image from the Docker Hub. After pulling this Ubuntu, immediately it will create a container and start a container. Okay, so just enter now. Now see. So this command is checking whether this Ubuntu is available in my local machine or not. Yes, see, unable to find this image locally. Then automatically this Docker pulls the image. See, it's pulling from the Docker Hub this image. Okay, all it is completed and it is stored in my local machine, and as well as it is started by using this run command. See how smart the Docker is. So all these three activities performed by this single command. Pulling first, this command checks whether this requested image is available in my local machine or not. It is not. If it's not available, see here, unable to find. Then it will pull the image from the Docker Hub, means from this side. Okay, from this Docker Hub, this Ubuntu, and then from this image, it creates a container and starts a container. Okay, now here I have written -it, means I means what? Interactive mode, and T means what? Terminal. Now you can easily do the modifications in my container now. Now already container started. Now see, this is the container ID. Okay. So already, as I told you, from by this command, the container is created and started. Suppose I want to check. Okay, so now the containers now. How many containers are running? So as I told you, this is the container ID. Now let us check how many is it running or not. So for that command is docker ps -. Okay, we'll take all running as well as stop. See, I'm getting this message command not found, because see, already we are in Docker now. We are inside Docker. Sorry, we are inside container, and we are checking whether this container is. So how many containers are running and how many containers are stopped by this command. So it is not possible. So we should come out from this container, and then we can check